right, here are the other three. I think this is going to be a quick video. I'm not going to go through each and every page of every journal. And if I list these, and I'll list them as, there's 5, so I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But they'll be separate listings on eBay. But if somebody wants separate photos of things, then I can do that for them. So they are the same size. All right, I'll do these two. Well, no, I'll do this one with the white flower on it. And this one has 100 pages. And the same size as a 6 by 9. So let me stick that back in there. So this here is just a little thing that I glued on there. Oh, stapled on. No, I did glue it. But it's just some tea stain paper, leftover scraps, and you know, you could write on that. This is a piece of embroidery piece of material, and I coffee stained it and added a piece of map. And see, there's a journaling card, a piece of ephemera. I don't do printables. I can't do it yet because I don't have I'm not capable of doing that. And I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do that. I kind of like not having to do that. But somebody gave that to me, so I just added that. There's a piece of coffee stained, heavily coffee stained, I should say, scrapbook paper. This is a banner from Scrapbook BC paper, and this is just a picture. All I have is that ink toner printer, so the prints don't come out so great of vintage photos that I have, and I've got all kinds over here. But this right here, I just added, and I inked it up to make it look old. This is from a book page. This is that same concept. It's from an actual letter. You can write on the inside. Same thing as the other. I made 5 of these, or 6 of these, I can't remember, but with vintage green stamps. Here's another envelope. Not envelope, a tuck or a pocket. This is a fabric sample from well, it is fabric, but wallpaper sample book, but it's fabric that matched, and there's some little banners I added just for decoration. This is a children's book page. Let's see here, what's this? I just got this here, ledger paper, and just another book page from a dictionary. And this is just a thing that goes over the page. It's got a couple tucks. You can add whatever you'd like. And this is a vintage cookbook page. I'll take care of that in a minute. It's from a 1940s typewriter book. And I love that. I actually took typewriting class, and I did very well, and that's how I know how to type now without looking. So this is some vintage trim, and believe me, that takes practice. Here is this. This is kind of embossed. I didn't emboss it, it came that way. I got it at Hobby Lobby. A coffee stained envelope, and just a journaling tag that I made from a piece of scrapbook paper. It's got some stenciling throughout. Ooh. Here is another piece of scrapbook paper, and I just made it into a, fold over the page kind of thing. There's a pocket. It's got a card in it. That's got a fabric flip, a pocket. That's a journaling card. This is from, like a cereal box or something. I love using that. And here's another piece of scrapbook paper. I got a big piece of this, and I just cut it out and made it into different pieces of journaling cards for these journals. I like that stencil. You might hear my granddaughter in the background. My husband's taking care of her. But she has a hard time sleeping. She fights sleep. This right here is another envelope from Discover, and another one of those book pages. And I just like this because of the color, so you can cover over that. I just absolutely love those envelopes from that company. Some more ephemera. Book page, another one of those things that you can make stuff in. Excuse me. And just a little journaling card, and I just stuck that over there like that. And this is another one of those swatches from a fabric piece from that wallpaper book. There's another one of those things from that photo book. Journaling cards, S&H stamps, an Ideals magazine, a pocket here, just some ephemera. This is another cookbook page, and these are they're pretty fragile, so you could do what you want. I actually put a piece of cardboard there, glue that down, and there you got and then ink around it, and you got a like a bookmark. There's a journaling card, and I just added a piece of leftover fabric that I had, and this is a little different than the other ones. I have these pockets here, and there are two more. So these are vintage ads from a 1940s magazine that I had. And here is a time card that's been coffee stained. How can I get it out? Oh, and I just cut it in half, and the other piece is right there. And so there we go. I think this is the only journal that has this, those pockets like this, because most of it is just open. But I didn't do that. I made pockets for this one. So there's a journaling card, and there's the other half of that time card. And you could add, you know, tabs to that if you wanted. I kind of wanted it hidden, but here's a vintage photo of a little boy with his dog. This is an actual peacock feather. It's a pocket. This is a pocket right here, or a tuck, I should say. And just a journaling card. And this is another journaling card, and here it is. It would be cool to have a photo right there, and then right on the back. There's an Ideals magazine. Yep. Some trims. Oops. And this is really cool. This is a nice vintage embroidered butterfly. Love that. And these journals, some of them, depending on the embellishments, might be a little cheaper or more expensive, so they're not going to all be listed as the same price. And there may be a couple that may be more than, say, the others. Uh-oh. Oh, did I glue something? I sure did. Something got glued to the paper. Well. Yep, it did. All right. I'll have to fix that. I glued that, and I must have shut it. But then it was a little embellishment, and this is a vintage receipt. I don't know, the corn or something. There's a bookmark, a book page. There's just a tab. This was like a piece of scrap, so, you know, I cut it off of this because I didn't want it sticking out so far. And I said, hey, that would be perfect. Oh, there's a guest check in there, too. And there's another one of those pages. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's an envelope, and it's got just a couple of journaling spots. It's got the envelope itself and behind the envelope, so it's got two spots, two journaling cards. And another one of those cards, just a journaling card in there, and just a couple pieces of ephemera. And then this is another one of those photos that I have right here. Alright, and then I have a couple more. I think I'm just going to kind of skim through these. This has got 100 pages. These ones, I think these last two are the only ones that don't have, a photo in them on the back of the page. So this one's a little different. It's a vintage photo, just a little book, information on the journal, just a couple book pages, some copy stained scrapbook, another book page, a book page with some lace made out of, or ribbon made out of paper. You know, when you cut pages off, it's like, ooh, I'm gonna make that. And it's got a little bit of stamps in there. Got some stickers. This is, I think these last two have this paper in here. It's a very vintage, just kind of fragile, so be careful. But it's, you know, with children's like cursive writing or printing, you know, practice sheets. A belly band with just a envelope. And what I did with these, I glued these papers together. This was not a piece of paper that was, you know, double printed on each side. It's actually two pieces, and I glued them together. A little stamp. Couple journaling cards there, ephemera. Book page. That's children's drawing paper. Couple other pieces of ephemera. Another one of those. Oh, I added this to this, a little piece of vintage wallpaper. Added that in there. And a drawing card. Well, a card, not journaling, but can journal on it. Some stamps. And this is another one of those. Let me take this off. Journaling card. And I rounded the corners there, and I made this into a pocket. Just a couple pieces of ephemera in there. And this is a vintage photo of a little girl with a hat on. So cute. Another stamp. It's a envelope and a postcard. Another book page that you can alter. Oh, I added these. These are just, you know, obviously I inked it, and I figured you could add a photo to cover that. You know, clothing. This is wallpaper. I made it into an envelope, but I didn't sew it. It needs to be sewed down. I wouldn't suggest gluing it. It didn't work out too well. I guess it doesn't have glue on it or whatever. And if you put regular glue, it doesn't stay. So sew it down the sides. This is a vintage book page. This is another card. An altered envelope, a little doggy with a little kid, some coffee stained cheesecloth, and a couple pieces of ephemera. Just another one of those envelopes. Tuck spot, some seam binding, some trims. Alright, so there we go. Pocket. Pieces of ephemera in there. Another, this is vintage wallpaper, and this is a photo. And there's one of my journaling cards I made with S&H stamps. And a pocket with just some extra ephemera in there. And here's the back page, and it's got an actual piece of vintage wallpaper in there, and then that's the back of the page. All right, there's that one, and here's the last. So this one's got 92 pages, so they all have different page amounts. I don't know why. I don't know. I wasn't like sitting there like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make them all the same amount of pages. Maybe I didn't have all the same that I could do. you know, with each journal, same amount of pages, that I could do each journal the same. I mean, probably said that all messed up. Some extra, this is part of one of those Discover cards. I just cut it off, and you can use it as a tuck spot, or I don't want to open up, but anyways, and you know, you can use it as a tuck spot, decoupage on that. So it's got an envelope, journaling card, just some ephemera card. I think these are like Civil War cards, but I loved the images on there, and it tells you facts about it. Piece of fabric, and some stenciling, some ephemera, another little book page with a vintage photo. Got some vintage stuff in there, some trims. Envelope with a belly band, some paper trim with some vintage, actual vintage fabric or trim, some washi tape. This page is a little fragile, so I added that because this is drawing paper, children's drawing paper. This is a paper. I just got some ephemera. Just another that pocket that has each one is another one of those fabric pieces, samples or whatever. Another one of those envelopes, and there's that little tag, and here's a couple more tags, a couple more pieces. That envelope, I didn't alter that envelope. I just added the trim. Just a coffee stained postcard. And there's some more. There's another piece of paper and another envelope, another one of those cards I made, another one of those cards, wallpaper. So they have a lot of the same elements. I tried to do that if I had enough for everything, but they're all different. You know, this is the only one that has this belly band like this. So just, you know, how I wanted to make them, decorate them at that moment. So those are the journals. I will have those listed in my shop, and I hope you enjoy these journals. So give me a thumbs up, and like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.